Hi, my name is Bogdan. I'm the owner of DNS Sharp. I'm proud to announce that we've achieved integration between our Search Boost module and the Document Management Exchange module. This integration basically lets Search Boost take the title, the keywords, the permissions, and other information directly from the DMX database. The solution we've implemented is quite generic, and it will work for other documents modules as well. But in this video, I'll focus first on presenting how this integration works and what you have to do. And then, on the second part, I'll show you the configuration that was made to achieve this DMX integration, so it can be reapplied to different document modules. So, let's begin. Basically, all you have to do is select the DMX folder under Search Target 3. So you see the DMX folder. If you try to open it, it will no longer show the file structure on this, because basically the structure depends on the logic, not on the file structure. So now just select the DMX folder, and this, after you index, will have Search Boost parse this folder in a special way, and I will show you later how that was configured. So this is all you have to do, and then we'll just test the search. So I will just search for alliance, and you see it brought me the alliance, which is this DMX folder. Now this integration does a couple of things more. For example, if you delete this document, Search Boost will catch it and update the index, so it no longer appears in the search results. It will also handle uploading new versions. So if you create a new version of the file, Search Boost will remove the old version from the index and add the new version. Okay, that being said, let me show you how this integration can be achieved. So basically, in the desktop module, Search Boost config doc analyzers is the configuration that triggers this integration. So I will just open this with a text editor, the defaults. And here you can see it's basically an XML file that defines a list of analyzers. So each analyzer is basically a piece of code that knows how to index a particular section of your site documents. For example, this is the default analyzer that will basically iterate all folders, files, and try to index them, and also look at the metadata files. And then there's the ignore folder analyzer. So sometimes you will want some folders to be ignored, like the logs folder or the cache folder, and this is done with this analyzer. Simply add a match by path. So what this does, if this path equals logs, if the current path equals logs, it will be ignored, so it will not index any file in this folder. Same for cache and same for templates. And you can add your own ignore folder by copying one of these nodes and pasting it, but it's important to know that you shouldn't modify this file, the defaults file. You should create another file with a similar structure and put your node there. Okay, and then finally is the DMX analyzer. And actually, if we look at the type, you will see that it is a database control folder analyzer. So it's not specifically for DMX, but it's a generic solution that can fetch metadata from the database. So let's see how it was defined. First, there is the match. It matches by path, but also there's another match by SQL. So it verifies that DMX is actually installed, so the database table exists. And if this match occurs, then Search Boost will use this code, this configuration, to index the DMX folder. Otherwise, if one of these conditions does not match, it reverts to the default analyzer, which is this one, the first one. Okay, so let's get back. After the condition has matched, there are two SQLs. There is the SQL to select the entries that were modified from last modified date. So this is when the indexer last ran. So this query should return all the entries that modified after this date. So this is the incremental indexing that SearchBoost implements. And then you have to provide some metadata like an ID, author ID, last modified, the title, the relative path, and then the document type. The document type can be, for example, PDF, doc, docx, and DMX is storing this in a different format. So here I just put a switch case to convert it to SearchBoost format. Okay. And then also this query has some logic on getting only the last version. So I don't want to get all the version. I want to get only the last version, but for the previous versions, I want to get them as is deleted. So you see, case when is deleted, when it's actually deleted, or when this entry is not the last version, then it's also marked as is deleted, and this flag will actually tell SearchBoost to remove this document from the index. So this is one, and the second SQL is the permissions. So who can see this document? And SearchBoost only implements permissions for roles. So if you want to grant permission for individual users, that would not be possible right now, but it will take the roles, and then again you have to convert the roles to their names, because otherwise the IDs may be the same, but there are some special IDs like all users and authenticated users which could differ from implementation to implementation. So it's better that we operate with the names. And this is it. Using this information, SearchBoost initializes the database control for the analyzers, and when it runs across the DMX folders, it starts to get the metadata from the database, and then the roles also from the database. Otherwise, with the standard analyzer, to make a comparison, the standard analyzer will just look at the metadata files that are XML files stored from the disk. You can find out more about that on our documentation server about SearchBoost metadata files. And the permissions, it will try to take from the .nuke file manager. If there are no permissions for that, if that file doesn't exist in the manager, then it will default to all users. And one more thing I want to point out is SearchBoost will add a trigger on the DMX entries table to catch deletes, because otherwise, if you hard delete a document from DMX, SearchBoost will not know that this document was deleted unless a full reindex was issued, which is time consuming. So what this trigger does, basically insert into the document queue table where SearchBoost stores the queue, where the analyzers store what they find for the indexer to pick up. And it puts in this document queue, it puts an entry, and it says that is deleted is 1. So this document was deleted. Basically, this is what this says. And here it provides the path to where the file actually is on disk. And this is it. This trigger will be installed automatically by SearchBoost when you install this build that supports DMX integration. But if you install DMX after SearchBoost, then you would have to execute to create this trigger manually. And you will find the trigger usually in the data provider, SQL data providers, and you have to look at this 291 file. You'll see the trigger is here. So you just take this trigger and create it if it doesn't already exist. Okay, so now let's look how you could use this for other document modules. So basically what you have to do now, first you would go back to the config folder, and there is a readme file here. This file will actually explain to you what you have to do, but basically in a few words, you don't want to modify the default XML file, you want to create a copy of it, and say my integration, something like that, and then you would modify this, and then you would delete all the nodes and create your own node. Let's say analyzer, and this will be remember the titles have to be unique, because this is used like some kind of key by SearchBoost. So I'll say my integration, and here you start adding some triggers. For now only these two are possible, but we can add more in the future. So all these conditions need to match, and then you add your SQL to select the metadata, and you have to be careful to return the same column name. So if it's under a different name, you just write as, and you give it the alias that SearchBoost looks for. And same for permissions. And this is it. You can achieve this way. You can achieve integration with any modules. SearchBoost will automatically pick up all the files in this folder, so you don't have to do anything else. It will automatically pick up your my integration file, and then it will when it parses the folder structure, it looks at the analyzers in the order they are defined in the configuration. So this analyzer in the default .xml file will get executed first, and then your analyzer definition. So this is good to keep in mind. What else? I think this is it. So basically, to get back, for the DMX integration, you don't have to do anything. Just install DMX, just install SearchBoost, and then make sure the DMX folder is installed under search target tree, and then just index, and it will pick up the document. So you don't have to do any of this configuration. This I just show you to see how it was made in case you need to make other integrations. This is it. Thank you for your time, and I hope this helps.